What assistance or what efforts did you make for people who are blind? Did you have braille printed applications? Did you think of the people living with disabilities, like blind people? Second to that, I think it was misinformed, the manual submission, because it ignored people coming from remote areas. If you have in Eastern Cape one place where people can submit, what are you saying to a person who comes from who comes from wherever, who has to travel 80 kilometers to that place in order to submit? The third question, or maybe can I have this back and forth response? Because I really want to dig into these issues. This issue of asking so many questions, they don't get answered.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I'd like to respond to the question. The issue of manual submission was seen afterwards to be having the problems as outlined by the Honourable Member, which is why, as we indicate in our presentation, we then allowed for emailed applications. The presentation does indicate that there were manual submissions and centers that were made available at the advert, or were informed or included in the advert, but the inclusion of emailed application was in recognition of the fact that the issue of access and people having to travel it for 80 or more than 80 kilometers, as the Honourable Member indicates. We are not at the stage we need to then indicate that our forms have got a braille format, and we'll take that as an enhancement in terms of how we need to improve going forward. At this point in time, we do not have forms that are in braille, Honourable Chair.
The question of braille, people who are living with disability, those who are blind, what did you do to accommodate them? So basically, you excluded them in the process.
I believe with the inclusion of emailed applications, that was being accommodative, Honourable Member, because most of the artists that are having disabilities are able to assist and reach out to us in terms of being provided assistance. But we have just admitted, Honourable Member, that our forms were not in braille.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to answer on one question that the Honourable Mkhetho was asked. Today's computers, he's talking about the blind. I just wanted to say that computers today have assistive technology for the blind. So there's access on any computer for the blind. That's one.
And the process of the department takes so long that you never give outcomes on time. Now, part of the process of applying for these funds is that you are required to provide the information, you are required to provide the rollout plan. And when there are delays, therefore the rollout plan becomes null and void. Do you know, you should know that if I have to do an event, Minister, I must book artists and pay 50% deposit just to secure the dates. And I commit myself to these dates because the application requires me to give specific dates of what would be happening. And the delays, the cancellation, do you know how much it costs the industry with the cancellations? Because everybody, even the sponsorship that you're talking about, there's no sponsorship that will sponsor you for April 22, and then you come back and say, no, the event is no longer happening April 22. I'm not sure when is the department going to announce, and then maybe it will happen in June. Can you still sponsor me? The sponsorship doesn't work that way. They work based on dates. Are you aware that you are killing the sector with these decisions that you are taking single-handedly as the department, without consultation, without even inviting us. You are talking about the conference. I suppose it is the Bosperat. When you say national conference, I suppose it's the Bosperat. Are you aware, Minister, that you are destroying what was existing, what was happening, into something that is the industry has become beggars under your leadership?
No, as if the actors of South Africa prior to me arriving, you guys have been living the la vida loca. You've been living the life. Actors has always been struggling. Actors in South, you are speaking to a man that deals with artists prior to me becoming a minister. You are dealing with a person that knows as much about artists as yourself. So do not speak as if artists has been living a good life. Artists has been struggling. Artists has been poor. What our administration is doing, it is changing the way things has been done previously. You want us to continue doing things the way that you want us to do it, that has kept artists poor. Give me a chance. Let me do what I'm planning to do as the minister and see and come and report here if I change the needle. I can't be making decisions as a minister that has been made for 30 years. I'm not those ministers that make the same decision, but the circumstances of artists has not changed. I, for one, has booked artists every week in all our previous nightclubs. And I can tell you now, we've heard horror stories. And that's why I'm coming in as the new minister with a new system. But you cannot tell me what I should be doing. You must do oversight over my decisions and say, was my decision corrupt? But you cannot tell me as the minister, I'm the executive authority. You're the oversight authority. I am the minister. Let me come in with my strategy of how I think. Because now you're saying to me, for instance, no, event can't go on. No business should depend on government money alone to survive and to sustain themselves after 20 years. No business. It's not good business sense. Honorable Mtetwa, I am saying, as the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, I have a plan, together with my team, of how we want to change the plight of artists, that artists should not be beggars like they have been since I've been born. Artists has been beggars.
We can't operate like it's a trial and error. The minister doesn't consult. He takes decisions abruptly. You see, we can't have a situation where we are trying, and when we find that, oh, we have erred, then we say, oh, let's leave it. Let's go for something else. There's a duplication. For instance, this thing of sector clusters, I've been constantly saying, sports is organized under SASCOC by an act of parliament. We had a problem with the accountability of organizations like CIFSA, because the department was saying, no, these are not our entities, so we can't do much. Okay. Now you are coming with another feature that is not, I want to ask, what act or what legislature or what regulation informs these clusters that you have created? And what are you saying about CIFSA that is going to coexist? Because in my questioning previously, you said you're not going to abandon CIFSA. You're not shutting down CIFSA. You've just shut down downtown. You have no plan what you're going to do. So should we go? I mean, we had promoters for many years. There's an association of promoters. I'm sure you didn't consult with the promoters. You are now taking things back into the department to be the player and the referee at the same time. You are creating duplication at the expense of the public purse. 30 million, 32 million that you are going to avail for the clusters. So that is why I'm saying you can't do things and then say, oh, no, we shouldn't have done it this way, but the money is gone. And that's what we are guarding against Chairperson, that the money should not be used to try and error and then at the expense of the taxpayers' money. Now, I want to find out, this 32 million, since you are saying you are the executive now, where is the 32 million coming from for the clusters? And for 2 million each? And what can you say about in the list of these board members that you have put? You have allowed these ones, you are in control of it. This is your project. You have people listed in your boards of these clusters that their entities are currently being investigated by you. You have forensic. You have spoken publicly bad against them. But you have them in this board to do what? To govern the industry. Why are you not moving for a governing body by an act of parliament that will be responsible, that will be accountable to the department, accountable to the parliament? What is it? Is this what you want to do? Try and error. Moretele Park is a festival that used to nourish. Is it still nourishing? So I'm saying don't kill things that were there. Improve them. Those that you know that they could work, improve them. There are those that you need to indeed investigate. But I am asking you, my question, where are you getting this 32 million from? Who approved this 32 million? Was it part of 2024, 2025 program, or is it an intended program?
SASCOC was not formed by act of parliament. You know, it's easy for you. I've seen throwing things around that's non-existent. Earlier, you said that downtown is a heritage site. I went to go check. It is not a heritage site. But leave it at that. The trial and error. When you say error, where's the error in this new plan? You want me to fund things that you want us to fund. I will never do that. One. Two, you say there's trial and error. Now, where's the error in the new sectors? The sectors, I stake my name and my position on the plan that it will succeed. If you have, if you've been accused of stuff, so I should just exclude you because there's accusations against you. I didn't choose the people there. It was a peer-to-peer. I don't even know the people that has been put on these clusters. It was them that decided who should represent them. They decided. The money comes from the budget. What we want to streamline. And now if you talk about Moretele Park, as you say, if it is so successful, why can it not operate without the government? I am trying to move artists away from the waiting for government mentality in order for them to look after themselves into an entrepreneurial. You can't be a successful artist. You wouldn't get artists you get artists that's 20 years in the industry that still depends on government. The industry is not opening up because the artist that's there for 20 years like yourself, you're still depending on government. Now, I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to change that totally. I'm trying to open up this industry.
Can you please refrain from saying I'm depending? I don't depend on government. Please.
I close your stuff. I'm talking about what you said. You said the minister has closed. So you use yourself as an example. But let's leave it at that. I'm just doing what you did. Artists, great artists with great music are still dependent on government. So there's a flaw. The flaw is that our artists in this country, it is the system that's against them. They have the talent, and we got to change the system, and that's what I'm trying to do, Honorable Mtetwa. Now, you can't say it's error if it's a new thing. Give it a chance to prove, and I don't do the personality thing. Some of the people that's in the clusters marched against me. But I'm not going to now turn around and say, because you march, you're not getting and stuff like that. It's a transparent process. It's an open process. And I do take advice. It was Honorable Ankulu that said something earlier, which we discussed after our meeting. Like that was a good point that Honorable Ankulu mentioned. The chairperson has many times said to me, "No, I'm a person that really listens, even to yourself." So, but I cannot sit here, Honorable Chair, and have this plan we worked on, we workshopped, we are ready to execute, and then I'm going to hear it's going to fail. We are going ahead with the plan. And if it fails, I'll be the first one to say that you are right. Thank you, Honorable Mtetwa.
We had a session with the sector, which took place in August. And then again, another one which took place in October with the sector representatives. However, we also did recognize the fact that when we talk representatives, we might not necessarily be reaching the length and breadth of the country and the industry, which is why upon the opening of the call, Honorable Member, we also opened up for information sessions through webinars. We had several of them during the 2-month open period. We did the same again when they revised one. However, Chair, I do note the recommendation from Honorable Member Bilankulu in terms of how we can further extend the consultation, because it becomes a continuous process of improvement, and I acknowledge that. In terms of the financial implications for cancelling the previous round, we had, Honourable Member, to look at the pros and the cons in terms of proceeding with an old call, wherein we could see that the quality of what was coming through in terms of the applications that were received were not really going to make the kind of change that is envisaged within the SACO report. So financial implications can be in terms of the development of the system, which is more an enhancement because it was run by CETA, and other such costs that were underlying costs that were actually linked to that. But there was nothing further that we did up until the time when we had to then revise the call, apart from the webinars that I've made reference to. The progress made in terms of implementing the SACO review report, I think Kia also, as she was doing the presentation, did mention some of those approaches that we're talking to the revised ecosystem resiliency model. But what I also need to indicate, Chair, if you look at these recommendations that came from SACO, they are very much aligned to the CCI master plan, which has got about 9 key action areas. So the process in terms of implementation, even though I cannot scale it at anything above 20%, but we are in the process of implementing those kind of recommendations as they come out. And I agree with you that the acceleration of those of that implementation does need to happen. Honourable Member spoke about the issue of a lack of an impact assessment measure that we have in place. In fact, we do, Honourable Member, have an impact assessment process. I think we have made reference in the past that periodically we do impact assessment, impact studies, but it is based on a sampling model. The approach is based on a sampling model where we actually identify the main areas, and we then commission an assessment based on those particular. Honorable member spoke to the issue of provincial departments, but also spoke to the issue of enough time, if I got your question correctly, that is actually made available. We do our best, Honorable Member. This is one of the reasons why when the call opened in November, it was to close in December. But to allow for more time for the industry to be able to apply, Minister then requested that we extend to January, also taking into account the issue of holidays, etc. So we would respond to the question to actually say we do our best. It's also one of the reasons, Honorable Member, why when we advertise now for applications, as compared to the previous years, we actually open applications in the previous financial year for the new financial year, just to allow that particular process, because we also acknowledge the fact that in terms of the verification process, the adjudication, the confirmation and the signing of MOAs, it takes time, which is why we started the process in November. Unfortunately, we had to then revisit and respond to the complaints from the industry. Indeed, Honorable Member, we have actually picked up a concern around same people applying. This is one of the reasons that Minister was talking to the issues of moving away from your established festivals, for instance, cultural events, because we believe they've got a higher potential of being able to get sponsorships because they have established brands. Unlike the new players within the particular space, be it in eventing or any other space that we might be talking about. MGE officials in tracksuits, etc. I wouldn't actually say so for MGE, Honorable Member. I'm aware, for instance, that we do not have any branded material that officials have in as far as MGE is concerned. What we have done, as you saw in our presentation, we have just developed a CI for MGE so that it is easier for recognition, but also for branding and marketing, etc. However, that didn't translate to any branded material for any of the officials in the department on MGE particularly. The recommendations I've indicated, Chairperson, that I do acknowledge and we've taken note of the recommendations, especially around the issue of multi-stakeholder teams and consultation enhancement, etc. Thanks, Honorable Chair. I know that, for instance, I saw in your program, which was subsequently cancelled, that there was an intention to have a strategic planning workshop or session, something of that nature, if I'm not mistaken. So I think for me, if we can be able to look at what practically are we talking about when we say, so that as a department, when we come here and we then present our reports, it isn't seen as something that is not properly consulted with the portfolio committee. For instance, the example of the strategic planning session that you were planning to have, which I thought would have given us an opportunity, Chair, to be able to come and present to you, take you through the programs, the history, the background, and everything pertaining to each of the programs that we have in the department and the plans.
I just want to ensure that the department, or rather, re-emphasize the fact and the matter that our programs, Dr. Kumalo, have been distributed a month before the time. A month before the time. And I have to re-emphasize, and maybe if we have time later, we have to discuss the absenteeism of the minister later on. A month before the time we're giving it, and I must say that a day or an evening before our meetings, we receive apologies from the department. I just want to put that.
If Minister, he want to improve our sector, He was supposed to attend the march of the artists, to not fear them, be like a man, talk to the artist. Now artists, they are angry because they're undermined by the minister. Minister, I believe, is very strong. He's very strong. But there, he never been strong. Now the fire comes more and more and more. That minister is not good. But himself tells us that he's got a plan to destroy the poverty from us as an artist. I'm in the department, I'm in the parliament because I'm an artist. I represent artists. No one is against the minister. Minister, he just come now and be told information about the department. He doesn't have experience. It's the first year, like he's doing a year now. He's supposed to admit us what we are saying. We don't hate him, but we want to work hands to hands. The information is in our hands, but we need to work together and work with the all artists. I told the minister what the legacy you are going to have after you leave this department. I remember when the minister said, my son likes your music. I was very happy. Let's look after artists. I don't know why Honorable Eugene was talking like that, because the artist, we know the anger, we know the poverty. The government, what they're doing, it's only undertaker when the artists die, they're running to the funeral. We don't need that. That shows really artists are poor. We don't need the whole hands. Artists, they can work by themselves, but empower them with the equipment. No more fighting. Thank you, Chair.
I just want to say to Honorable Penny, I am consumed with every day. How am I going to change the lot of artists? I want to achieve what no minister prior to my appointment has achieved, and to make sure that artists are not dying as paupers. I want to contribute towards the living. I have plans. Give me a chance to do that. And I can't get off here, Chair, without telling him there's many things you can accuse me of. I'm scared of God alone. I wasn't scared of those artists. I find it even hilarious that you think I could be scared. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you.
My first question that I just want to check to the department. How does the department plan to rebuild stakeholder trust following the implementation crisis and ongoing protest action? I think that one, Chairperson, it can be answered by the department together with the minister. And when I add on it, I just want to check again with the minister regarding the march that happened recently, the march that happened in May. I just want to check with the minister, considering that there was a march by concerned creative practitioners. How far is the response to those marchers, a minister? And can we have the report back regarding the memorandum? What was in the memorandum, and how minister is going to deal with that memorandum? And then in the other things that, remember, the same group did march to the minister's, not to the president office, and an official from the presidency came to accept the memorandum. Was that memorandum delivered to the minister's office after it was accepted by the official in the presidency, or is it still with the presidency office to deal with it, Chairperson? My last question, Chairperson, maybe I will come back again. What specific mechanism will ensure equitable access under manual submission system, DG, particularly for rural and disabled practitioners? I will pause there, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable Mletsani, thank you so much for the question. The memorandum is landed on my desk. It has been given to us from the presidency. Right. The first question you ask, that was the first question. The second question you ask is that, how am I going to fix stakeholder relationship? Honorable Mletsani, what has happened in this department? It was the same people getting millions and millions, the ones that were marching there. Millions. These people have made it their birthright to get money from the department. Some of them are corrupt to the core. Let me make an example. CIFSA got from national, provincial government's money. They can't say what they did with it. People die of, we've had artists committing suicide, which we all know, I'm not going to mention, but they committed suicide because of mental depression. While you have the Silapa Wellness that must deal with those issues. And I'm not talking small amounts here, millions. You have Sakaif. Sakaif is for the youth. Go and see who's the youth there that gets this money, Honorable Mletsani. So wherever I go, and I say it very with all humility, when I meet artists, they are happy because they have never received anything. The one that has been receiving, because we've closed the taps. We've closed the taps. I am now, if you can count the people that were there, there was a handful of people that was there, with due respect. But we're still going to address the issue. But now people want the gravy train to continue. It will never continue under me. Not only they're trying to intimidate me not to do the audits and the investigations of what have you done with the monies. So there's no stakeholder crisis. There's a corrupt stakeholder crisis. People that has been getting money. It is the very people, Honorable Mletsani, that are marching now. What I am saying is very simple. We stop the tap. People are not getting money. When they get money, it will be very transparent. Very transparent. It's the new way. Everybody that's going to get a sense from this department going forward, his name, all the names will be advertised, whether it's MGE, whether it is, that is part of my decisions, Honorable Chair. Whatever funding, whether it's from the national, the NAC, the National Arts Council, when it is from my department, where I am residing, every cent that we pay to artists shall be transparent. We will say today, this is the artist that got money, this is the people that has won, so that we can see this thing of the usual suspects. Lastly, Chair, is people are so assured of government money that they don't even make music anymore. The music, the income they derive straight from government, they see it as a salary. It can't be, Chair. And if they hate me for it, let them hate me. But I am 100% sure that I'm going to fix the plight of artists in this country. I thank you, Honorable Chair, Honorable Mletsani. Thank you,
Chairperson. I think Minister maybe forgets to answer me regarding the memorandum. The demands that is inside the memorandum, Minister. Two, Chairperson, on that issue of where Minister is saying that these people who marched are the same people who used to get money from the department, millions and millions, and they didn't. In fact, they still want to get money from the department. Minister, why can't all those organizations that you suspect or you think that they have misused the department's funds, why can't you put a forensic audit on those where in those entities? I'll call them entities, because remember, it's a government money that has been put there, and now being in that office, you realize that some of those money have been misused by these entities. Why can't you put a forensic audit to go and audit all these entities, so that when next time when you came to talk about them, you can be able to point out that we gave Molotani this amount, and Molotani claims that he had a board in her organization. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a board, and that money was supposed to go for 1, 2, 3, 4, and it went straight into Molotani's pocket, so that we can be able to silence the unnecessary noises that is happening. Because at the end of the day, some artists who really are in need of those funds, who really use those funds towards what they've requested for, cannot be able to get those funds, because now, as you just said, there are those vultures who are there to eat the department money without doing what they're supposed to do. Let's put in the forensic audit that will assist us to be a cleanup mechanism where the real artist will be able to stand, because we cannot just, some of the entities, we cannot just close them because of Matsulo who is corrupt and so forth. But what about those real artists who are relying on those entities to make their living? Thank you, Chairperson.
Honorable Mzansi is correct. Honorable Mzansi, I must say, I've given the instruction to the ADG, which is on this platform, that all this art people that got money should be investigated forensically. That process is ongoing, which I will come and report to the August committee of the findings of that committee. And they've duped some of the artists that marched there, and they told them lies, that we don't want to open the call for MGE. Some very innocent, not everybody that marched is corrupt, but a great deal of them were. But what they've done, they told lies, and we have cleared some of the lies today of why MGE took a little bit longer, because we want to make the circle bigger. But I can assure the Honorable Moletsani that I will come with those forensic report outcomes to the committee. We have to investigate it, but it can't be business as usual. And my heart goes out to the very people that was duped to march with those ones. And your other question, which I didn't answer, was also the one of the demands of we will be writing them a formal letter in next week with, we've read through the demands in the office, and we will have a meeting about it, and then we will formally answer them. Thank you very much.
I just want to check regarding that memorandum. As you've just explained, is the memorandum reflecting the needs of a sector, or is it Matsholo, who's always getting money from the department, now he's influencing other people to come and march? I just want to check that does the memorandum reflect the needs of a sector, not a selective group. Two, Minister, you've just talked about that. I just want to check regarding those forensic investigation that I've just mentioned, and you've just agreed that it will be done. The terms of reference, who's going to write the terms of reference, and who will be paying for those investigation? The reason I'm asking that is because I'm afraid that it end up being done by the officials in the DSAC, who were the ones that were there when those entities were given money, and you'll find that some of those entities, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not saying a person and so forth, but being the officials, somewhere somehow when you run those forensic, you will come and say it was true. Some of the officials, you'll find that they've paid the money that was not supposed to be paid to those entities, and now because there's going to be a forensic audit, when terms and reference are being written, someone will try to write things that will make sure he or she will try to write things that will see to it that he or she doesn't get exposed to all those funds that were given to entities, a chairperson. And I think my last question, Chair, I'm using the phone, Chair. You know, it's so difficult when you are using the phone. If it was a laptop, it was going to be very easy for me to ask my question. I just want to check. Is it the, in fact, the memorandum? Does the memorandum have anything, Minister, to deal with the boards? As I think there is this one guy who will always send us a WhatsApp. At some stage, the chairperson was complaining that you block him with this number, then he will come again with this number. Almost every day he will send you a WhatsApp with a new number. So because in one of the WhatsApp that he was circulating amongst us, he was complaining about the board. So I just want to check with the minister, does this memorandum have anything to regarding the appointment of the board's chairperson? I think that will be my humble last question. If I have any other question, I'll just put it on the screen, Chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Honorable Moletsane. The Minister.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mletsani. Well, I must say the memorandum is very broad. It is personal accusations. It speaks about the board. Yeah, and there are really legitimate concerns, which I'm also aware of, that's on that memorandum. There's also personal attacks on the memorandum. That's the first one. But it's broad. It speaks also about the plight of the artists. That's why we are going to answer it. And we will make sure the chairperson gets a copy to distribute of our answer, including the memorandum. That the second one is also a point that you raised with the terms of reference. I was very, very clear. I have also come to realize, and certainly it is true what you are saying, Honorable Moletsani, that there are some people still in the department that tries to protect a friend or so. So what I've done is I've made it very clear that a panel should be established of external auditors and investigators. That panel has subsequently been established, And these cases will go to those panels, and we will give them the terms of reference as the ministry, the aggrieved parties. Who will pay the panel? The department will pay the panel. And then the issue that you've also asked about, the person you're speaking about is Freddie Nyatela. He has complained and write letters, wrote to the presidency, wrote to everybody that he could write to. Esteemed chairperson has then invited him to come and when we had the portfolio committee, he was a no-show. So some of these things are not sincere, the complaints. It is just trying to troubleshoot and trying to take people's names through the mud. The next setting of the portfolio committee, I will also bring who's all being investigated. I will send, before the next setting, I will send the answer in the memorandum to the chairperson. And I will also come and say who's are all the parties that's being investigated at the moment. And it will read like a two-in paper where you see the people that are marching and the people that we are investigating for having received money from the department. Thank you very much, Honorable Ethani. Honorable Jacobs, I must just add that that's exactly what we intend to do. You have a commitment from me that we will give the committee, and I think it's a good thing. We will give the committee, we will go back 9 years. I will put a special task team, for lack of a better word, a task team together to give this is a public commitment I'm making, to give the esteemed committee those pages. I think it'll be more than 1,500, but that's not a problem because it's a reading committee. I also want to add something, what Honorable Jacobs is saying was consequences. Not so long ago, Honorable Chair, there's nothing I must add, which is very sensitive at the moment. What has transpired, we will only trust the committee at this point with the information. There are some people that came forward and they admitted that they were part of wrongdoing. And they said we are willing to come out through whistleblower reports. We'll also forward those to the committee so that they can see how deep the road runs. But to answer the first question Honorable Jacobs asked regarding will there be consequences? No, definitely. To make an example, Honorable Jacobs, when I became the minister, I think the first thing I was told was about the South African Institute for Drug Testing, SAIDS, yes. And not long after that, I also saw you, Honorable Jacobs. I say you very respectfully. I also saw Honorable Jacobs bringing in the very same problem of the SAIDS problem. Investigation was launched, a forensic investigation, a proper one. The result, it came back. It read like a horror story, Honorable Chair. I will send it to you today. Tomorrow. And we are removing. We are in the process of removing the board, or they've been removed because it's damning. There's also sadly officials in my department that are also being implicated. And we intend there should be no holy cows. So just to answer the question of consequences, there will be consequences because it's the officials that's very high up in the department. Thank you very much. Please, if you can give me 10 days, Honorable Jacobs, where I will put the thing together tonight. And in 10 days, I will be delivering the boxes and boxes of information to this esteemed committee.
Let me start my questions in line with the presentation of Mzansi Golden Economy. And I must firstly start indicating that You know, the Minister, you were very clear when you started your term in terms of how the funding process has been conducted and how you are intending to deal with both external and internal challenges that makes it very difficult for ordinary people to benefit from these opportunities provided by government. That's why I would want to check with you in terms of this forensic investigation. In fact, I would want to support the call that there should be an in-depth forensic investigation that looks into the past 5 years of this funding. But part of the terms of reference must look into people who have benefited, but also officials that were directly involved in the process. Because part of the things that has been raised is on how officials themselves collude with some of the big fishes within the industry. So we welcome that investigation, but would plead that the investigation should be conducted by an independent firm outside the officials of the department, now that in a way there are also allegations of them being involved in the dubious process of funding. So I firstly wanted to check, start with that one, support that proposal of the forensic investigation, Chairperson. Chair, but second to that, I also wanted to note, and the Minister has indicated it, but in his response, he says that when you are a blind person, and when you are a blind person, you want to make a submission electronically, the computer is able, or the whatever gadget that you are using, it's able to interact with you if you are blind. I think the Minister must just take into consideration that in whichever calls that were made, it has been indicated that by the department that people who are having disabilities of short sight, there was no applications that accommodated the braille. And that, Minister, I believe we should not just dismiss it. We must take into consideration part of the population that is being affected by that challenge. And I would plead with the department, in fact, recommend that the department moving forward must take into consideration such challenges that we are confronted with, and that part of the population that we are expected to serve as a nation. Chair, I would want to go straight to the process of public nominations that, call that has been made, the first one. Is there, especially on the first call that was made, was there any adjudication done on the first call that was made? Before I get into issues, I would prefer to ask my questions one by one to avoid being managed through responses that are tailor-made. Thanks.
The first thing that the honorable member is talking about, the blind people, I want to say I take note of it and we will do better. But I also want to say that the department is not anti-blind people, because we have special projects and special funding running to millions for the blind. This will just be an extra added on. And as far as the issues of MG is concerned, I would like the ADG to answer. I've been very far from that process. I don't know what's happening. So she's here. If they can just answer those questions. I don't know even where the presses are at this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. I think the question was with regard to the first call, was there any adjudication? The answer, Honorable Member, is that yes, adjudication was done, and that is how the issue of the problems that we highlighted were identified.
The DG is confirming that there was an adjudication on the first call. Apart from, I'll get back to the issue of the first call, because there are issues in relation to the first call, Chairperson. Can we get clarity on the composition of the adjudication that dealt with the first call? How is that committee constituted? How many people are there, and so forth?
The panel is made up of 6 members, and that is excluding the secretariat, which is provided by the MGE unit in the department. So there are 6 members. I'm not sure whether Honorable Member wanted me to mention who they were, but there were 6 members.
No, thanks, DG. I would plead that you share with us the list of that adjudication committee that conducted the first adjudication process. Chair, before I forget, now that the DG is confirming that there's no way the department is involved in the process of adjudication, apart from being represented by a secretary, whom supposedly the secretary is just there for purpose of minutes. But the process of finalizing the application, it lies solely on the adjudicators. I would plead that also the adjudicators be included on the report that we must get as a committee. For the past 5 years, who has been these adjudicators, but equally their relationship must be looked into as part of the investigation. How are these adjudicators relating with people who have benefited from the funding? How are these adjudicators probably through, we always argue this thing of lifestyle audit, of which to a large extent it becomes difficult to prove it here and there, but there should be an investigation conducted that analyzes or that looks into the relationship of these adjudicators, and probably also looking into their financial standing point as people who has been conducting a process of concluding who's going to benefit on the funding process and who's not going to benefit. It must be able to indicate to us as to these people has been impartial, and if you are impartial, there is no way that suddenly today, as Kaolatle Khaba, a member of parliament who does not have 100,000 in his bank account, suddenly after 2 years as an adjudicator, I'm suddenly part of the millionaires. We should be looking into that financial standing or status of these adjudicators as part of the investigation. I thought that I must also indicate that part before I forget it, Chairperson. That one was just a recommendation on part of those terms of references that we were calling to. Chairperson, I want to check with the department. In an event that the application is being declined, how do they communicate with the applicant?
Thank you. With the portal system, the application would have been submitted on the portal. Adjudication also take place on the portal. And those that are declined, the letters will also then be typed through the portal and then sent to the applicants. So that means that all applicants will then receive their letters for decline that outline the reasons of why they were declined in line with the guidelines.
No, thanks. In line with that process of declining, in an event that the applicant strongly feels that he or she's applications decline was unlawfully dealt with, or either way, he or she feels that the conclusion that has been reached by the adjudicators is wrong. How does one submit probably a dispute of the outcomes? Is there any space for applicants who feel that the outcomes of the adjudications are not fair and just?
Policy provides for an appeal process. The person who might be unhappy with the result of their applications are able to then submit an appeal, and it is dealt with as an appeal through that particular funding policy.
What is the turnaround time of your appeal?
Turnaround time of the appeal, I don't think necessarily it is provided in the policy as such, Honourable Member. However, each time when we get an appeal, we do, for instance, it would be submitted through my office, where a response to the person is received within a day or the following day in terms of receipt of that appeal, and then it goes to the appeal unit. I do not have the timeline right now, but I can be able to respond to you once I've checked the detail behind that. But I know Uguti, the policy itself doesn't really contain a timeline.
DG, this appeals committee, do you have an appeals committee, and how many people are on that appeals committee? Apart from that, can you kindly share that committee composition in terms of who's involved in that committee? Do you have an appeals committee, probably, apart from you? If you say yes, you've got an appeals committee, kindly share that report with us and probably indicate how often do you do. But also in your report, indicate the turnaround time of the appeal. And I'll tell you why the turnaround time. But do you have an appeals committee? And who is part of that appeals committee? Is constituted by how many people?
Thank you, ADG. I was actually trying to go quickly to to the policy so that I can talk to the appeals committee, because in terms of the turnaround, you are quite correct. There isn't a set time. Also, even from our side, but also from the sector side, they do at times submit appeals, not necessarily within a certain time frame. We have seen in the past that we submit months even following the announcement of the results. So some of them do not react immediately in terms of responding or forwarding their dispute ADG. But is the committee? I'm trying to see the number ADG. Is it possible to be given a minute to find the number?
Okay, I can assist. I've opened the document. The appeals committee is responsible for the appeals, as has been indicated in terms of MGE funding. It is constituted of 4 of the following officials, including 3 external members from the department's funding institutions, the DDG for Arts, Culture, Promotion, or whoever is acting in that position is the chairperson, a senior line function official from NAC, and also another official from NFVF, a senior line function official from NHC, in other words, the 3 funding agencies of the department. The committee curates with 3 members being present at any meeting. It needs, the policy provides that it needs to convene within 30 to 45 working days from the date of receipt of the appeal or complaint, and make a decision on the matter known within 30 days from the date of considering the matter.
No, thank you very much, DG. Now that you're indicating to the committee that you've got an appeals committee that handles, and you have also explained how you are handling that process of the appeals committee, can you please share with the committee the minutes of their last 3 appeals committee meeting, including the attendance register? If probably the DG can furnish the committee with such a detailed report in relation to members of the appeals committee, including the minutes and attendance register signed of the 3 past appeals committee meetings that they have said. And I believe that, Chair, we should be able to get that report probably in the next days that include your minutes and your attendance register. And also, Chair, in line with what we have requested on the report of these adjudicators, can the report also indicate the minutes of the previous meetings? Can we get clarity on the minutes of the previous meeting, especially on the first call? The minutes of that meeting, the attendance register of that meeting, so that we also form part of the 7 days report that has been requested, Chairperson.
Members, I really want to thank you for your contribution. And I also want to say that in terms of the program, there are numerous changes in the program pertaining to the Parliament program and other related guidelines. And also there are sometimes changes in the program because there is a lot of things that is now happening. Now allow me the opportunity that let us deal with the issue, or rather the matter or the elephant in the room, because there is a lot of uncertainty of, I don't know what is the word to use, amongst the committee as well as the minister pertaining to the attendance. We understand, Minister, your program. We understand your busy program. And we also understand the fact that you are part and parcel of the executive authority, and we have respect for that. But at the end of the day, there is a need for us to go on and push our work and hold you as the executive accountable. Now, I want to, in very short, and I'm not going to open it unless it is really, really crucial, but I would like the minister to respond. In terms of the meetings, and I want to address the honorable members as well, because we are a collective, we are a committee. And I would like to see us the way forward. And I am not denying any one of you, to address issues robust, doesn't matter what. But the elephant in the room of what has transpired since our last meeting, yes, we have praised the minister, and I don't want to go into detail, and I don't want to be ugly, and I don't want to be rude, but the amount of absenteeism is not acceptable, and therefore the committee cannot operate in that fashion. Now, what gives actually of what rise to all of the problems that we have is that members that attend these meetings go out of the meetings, post it and spread it on social media. I want to emphasize that that is their right to do so. And I, as the chairperson, cannot stop them. These meetings are not in camera. These meetings are open meetings. And the developments of these meetings, I think it is anyone's right to go out and to connect with the constituency out there in their political positions. There is numerous members, including myself, that is guilty of this, including the minister, who have in the past have done so and also sensitized the community out there. So in terms of the fact that the minister is the executive authority, I want to say to members on the other end, we are parliament. We have an oversight responsibility and a supervision to hold the executive accountable. Now, I have heard the minister said that I have sent my whole executive there. Now, in terms of the members that we are sitting with, if there is no minister and if there's no deputy minister, there is no executive, because we cannot include the department or the acting DG as part of the executive. We hold them accountable. We hold those entities under the department accountable. We hold the minister accountable. There was a very unfortunate incident that has transpired between the president of SASCOC and the committee. To a greater extent, that there was to and fro allegations and also a social fight, if I may use this word, but that also everyone is entitled to his right. But I want to clear the air here. I have included the SASCOC president in our meetings because most of the complaints are also landing on his desk. And as a matter of fact, I must say that he is a person that say, I don't want to interfere. But what we want to do as a committee is to intervene. And I might as well also say that the allegations out there, I mean, even one of our own has advised SASCOC to send letters in front of us. We are the committee and we deal with issues. And I want to see us as one, as a committee. So the developments and misunderstandings, I might say it's also because of the absence of the minister, the misunderstandings on issues, such as the Netball South Africa. The minister have clear himself what he actually meant with that operation. The misunderstandings with, putting entities under stress or under what is the right word to choose. But the fact of the matter is, there are developments, there are things coming from us in the absence of the minister, and then there are developments happening, in the absence of us. So I would say the robust interrogation of what I actually call, Minister, professional onslaught of members, especially in cases where we have this kind of interpellation style, where a simple yes or no answer from anyone, are normally avoided to shift the focus. A simple yes or no must be, for me, a simple yes or no. So we, like the Honorable Dennis will say, we have to get that training. I was just checking now with the professional staff. That training must happen. That training is important. That training is necessary. But for us to keep the governance issues intact, there's a need for us to keep and hold the department as well as the minister accountable. Now, let me address the issue. And I think Honorable Daniels has slightly touch on that, and that is the issue of the separation of powers. When it comes to the separation of powers, I think it is of paramount importance. And this separation of powers is guaranteed in the Constitution. And again, I want to say in terms of that, the committee has that right to interrogate and to ask. But what I want to ask the honorable members, let us respect one another. Let us respect each and every one. Let us respect, as the minister, as I think earlier also elaborated, let us respect the entities that is in front of us. We have the executive authority, we have the legislation authority, which is us, and we have the judicial authority. So the executive branch, which is separated from Parliament, and here is the crux. The executive branch is separated from Parliament. It should not affect any undue influence on the legislative branch, of especially the social media onslaught on. I don't agree what the committee has done unto Hot Saskok president. I don't agree the way and the fashion with this. So there is, I think, a fine line when it comes to the executive branch and also a parliament. So the executive branch should, for what it's worth, not affect any undue influence when it comes to the legislative branch. The other thing that I want to seriously also say, this is not a DA government. This is not an ANC government. This is not an Al-Jama government. We are governing, as you are used to say, Honorable Minister, this is a GNU. And for quite too long in previous parliament, the executive authority may have, could have, or have perhaps, think that the portfolio committee is a rubber stamp. We are not a rubber stamp at all. And we would like to work together. We would like to reach out. We have had meetings with you, Minister. 1 or 2 meetings. We have had, myself, have one-on-ones with you. And really, in terms of the government of national unity, there is no way that those or parties should pull away from one another, because then it will not work for us. It will not work for us as a collective. It will not work for us. It's not good for sport, because, there are members, and like you've said, and I like this thing of withdrawal of finances, and we want to change and swift the whole thing. I really like that. But if that is done, then all of a sudden we got complaints from this one, but they are not telling us the fault and the problems that they have caused towards the department. So not that we would like to work together, but we have to keep one another accountable, because a number of things is happening within, and numerous things are happening. So we are glad, Minister, that you are here today with us. We appreciate that. And I also say, I also feel at times we don't want you to sit there the whole day. If there's the major issues that really matters is of concern, deal with it and leave for that half an hour or 2 hours and honor the other ministerial responsibilities. Finally, Dr. Khumalo, we are sending at times 2 months, 3 months, for a quarter, we're sending these notices out. And sometimes it is changed, and then a month we send these notices out. And what really not goes off well is that, and we understand urgency of other matters, is that issues, I think the BRICS issues twice. The BRICS issues is issues of importance, but there's just no way that South Africa or whoever who was dealing with BRICS could have, have a slot for BRICS where we as a committee has been a night before contacted. So I really call upon members. I really call upon political parties across the board. I really call upon the Department, Sports, Arts and Culture, and all entities and the minister. Let us take hands and let us go in here. We have only, in this game, we have no common friends. There's no common friends in this game. The only thing that we have as colleagues is common interest. And let us fight for those common interests, whatever the case may be. So maybe we can create another platform where we have, like Dr. Khumalo have said, get the likes of the department there. get the likes even of the ministry of a representative of the ministry. But I really want to say, Minister, if you're not available, we understand the Deputy Minister as well the other day has been deployed to some sort of a select committee. But at least in terms of the executive, it must be either yourself or the deputy, and it must be really a reason that we as a committee can say we have answers. Because at the end of the day, if you follow the whole trend of this meeting, you have given most of the time, Honorable Minister, answers, and at some time to the satisfaction, and at some time not to the satisfaction. But we are there to support you. We are also not there to support you, but also to hold you account, also to intervene, and also to play our role and oversight. So I think I want to send, or rather, present a leaf or rather a flag of peace to say, listen, let's come together. Because this committee, this portfolio, that doesn't matter whether it's the minister, the deputy minister, the department, or the portfolio members itself. It's not what it used to be. It has changed. It is another dimension out there for the community, and there is now currently a sound interest in sport. And what is it all about? Especially in most of my interviews, I have said it is sport that brought us together. It is sport that affects the happy index, and it's happening for us. We have seen it in Athletics South Africa amid the problems that we have with the management. We've seen it in SAFA amid the problems that we have with the management. We've seen it in netball amid the problems that we have, even Swimming South Africa and a number of other entities. It can be done for South Africa. I have sent today on behalf of the committee members of the portfolio committee, I have sent a video also to the Proteas to say good luck and bring it home for reaching the final. So that is my plea as the chairperson of the portfolio committee. It is frank, it is straight, and it is to the point. And I really say, whatever I said, I call it we work together. And I am making a clarion call also again to the members. What you have shown today, don't stop, don't retrieve, do it, but let's do this with respect. Let's do it with honor, and let's always maintain the decorum of this portfolio committee. I think we can do that. Honorable Minister, I'm going to give you the opportunity to close down and to send out some signals of what is your view pertaining to what I have said.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I think, Chair, there's absolutely no excuse that I can give in as far as I have to attend, and when you call me, I have to come. This committee calls me, I have to come. I account to this committee. Everything I do has to be marked by this committee at the end of the day to say, have I done the right thing? There was a misunderstanding on our part where we thought that in my absence, because previously you yourself has praised me for always attending the meetings, even when I was not needed. But I wrongly thought that if I'm not here in the DM, the deputy minister is here. But I then subsequently learned that there's some things that need me to be here. And not wanting to waste time on this one issue, Honorable Chair, I hold this committee in extremely high regard. And we will never have this discussion again. I will also sit down with my staff tomorrow and make sure that this is the first priority, and make sure that we prioritize for me to attend the meetings. I can assure you for the rest of my term, or for as long as I'm going to be here, we will never have this discussion of me not attending, because I managed to find out that it's not always correct to say if I'm not here, the deputy minister is there. And that was my understanding and my thinking. So it's also very big of you, Honorable Chair, to say, let us work very nicely. But Chair, I must also be honest with you. And I'm going to mention a name, for instance. Let's take Honorable Muletsani. Honorable Mletsani will ask me very hard questions. And she will leave here and we will meet each other there in the corridors. We'll make jokes and we'll come back and she'll ask me hard questions again. She's doing a job, I'm doing my job. But for me, it feels like the committee is being used by Honorable Jacobs. Sometimes he's muddying the waters with politics, with party politics, with this, with his conduct. If you look at the National Assembly rules of 64G on the National Assembly rules, I'll read it for you, Honorable Chair. No member, let me just get it for you, Chair. I have it right here. Let me just get it here. Let you must just see what the rules are basically saying. It says to dress in a manner befitting. The rules G says not to take photographs or video footage during proceedings, speak on a cell phone, eat, read newspapers, or any other way conduct themselves in a manner not befitting the dignity and decorum of the House. We must be transparent. This is on YouTube. Now, the problem that we are having, and I'm speaking for people that is complained also by me, Honorable Chair, is that this is on YouTube. People have access to it. But it can't be where a person takes a certain 2 seconds or 5 seconds, alter it and give their version of what happened here today. And their version makes them the superhero and it makes everybody else the ass in the story. We must have collegiality. People must see what's happening here. And people must see the true version of what's happening here, not the altered version. People are being asked questions, and if they don't know the answer, they are being ridiculed because of that. Now, if a person is not answering, let it show the full record. I'll make you the last example, Chair. I don't want to waste people. It's very late. We sat here today. I came today. Sat here today. I came here today. I've been robustly asked questions by all the members the whole day. An hour ago, Honorable Liam goes on Facebook and Twitter saying the following: Gayton McKenzie ducking and diving. After 25 minutes of questioning, he still could not what he's thinking behind this. This is his spelling. He still could not what he's thinking behind his board appointments is. In this case, by his admission, Minister Patriotic Alliance, Chairperson of the Board Interview Panel, Patriotic Alliance, Chairperson of the Board, Patriotic Alliance. Where are the checks and balances? Now, you see, now you are calling the PA. When Honorable Jacobs said to us with the netball issue, without knowing the facts, and it was pure untruth of the netball issue that I defended netball, I stopped investigations. That found expression on a DA letterhead. It makes me sit here and thinking that I am being sabotaged. I said to Honorable Jacobs one day, after he had robustly asked me questions, we were walking in the corridor, I said to him, I'm so proud of you. You were really, after he had robustly asked me questions, I said, I'm so proud of you, Honorable Young. Keep on keeping on. You have a bright future ahead of you, politically. You should not be deterred. So there's not any hatred or something I harbor against them. But I don't want us to dwell in the past. I just wanted to show you. So I think we can all do better, including myself. And I'm going to do better, Chair. And I want to also congratulate you for bringing back the president of SASCOC. And my heart was so sore today when the president of SAFA sent me a message and saying, I didn't get a chance to show that I didn't book my flights, FIFA. And he sent me his ticket to show me that FIFA issued a ticket. Now, we don't want people to fear to come to this committee or to fear speaking. So I'm saying that we are all guilty of certain transgressions. Let's do better. I subject myself to this committee. Thank you very much. It was a long day. I saw Honorable Muletsani was very tired now. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. And peace to everybody. I can't hear you, Chair.
I say I also lost my English dictionary today. Honorable members.
Mefamba kahle kesile minister kesile.
I said I must go very well.
Honorable members, so it is still something that we have to work on, and like iron, let us really do what we have to do, and let us work together, and let us communicate with one another, and let us get this portfolio to unspeakable heights. Honorable members, with that said, I declare the meeting as closed.
Life of an artist, bacho xa spices, glorifying drugs as a stage fright cure. You can try this just when you're about to grab your chance of staging. Excitement, you can't think out this industry, or should I say this killer dream, cause you will swear that from the start it was designed to kill artists. Bangakulela when days are bright, as a human being on Instagram, too much pressure, unrealistic expectations. Whoever said that is the perfect is with us, wethembekile, singiza wethembekile, remedies within us as ikhwemba sipepekile.